The Hearing Trumpet by Leonora Carrington. Page 20. Feeling so strong and happy is very dangerous. Something horrible is about to happen, and I must find the solution quickly. All the things I love are going to disintegrate, and there's nothing I can do about it unless I can solve the Snow Queen's problem. She is the Sphinx of the North, with crackling white fur and diamonds on the 10 claws of every foot. Her smile is frozen, and her tears rattle like hail on the strange diagrams drawn at her feet. Somewhere, sometime, I must have betrayed the Snow Queen, for surely by now I should know. The young man, wearing white flannels, has come to ask me something. Am I going to play tennis? Well, I'm not really very good, you know. That is why I prefer to read a book. No, not an intellectual book, just fairy tales. Fairy tales at your age? Why not? What is age anyway? Something you don't understand, my love. The woods are full of wild anemones now. Shall we go? No, darling, I didn't say wild enemas. I said wild anemones, flowers. Hundreds and thousands of wild flowers all over the ground under the trees, all the way up to the gazebo. They have no smell, but they have a presence just like perfume, and quite as obsessive. I shall remember them all my life. Are you going somewhere, darling? Yes, going to the woods. Then why do you say you will remember them all your life? Because you are part of their memory, and you're going to disappear. The anemones are going to blossom eternally. We are not. Darling, stop being philosophical. It doesn't suit you. It makes your nose red. Since I discovered that I am really beautiful, I don't care about having a red nose. It is such a beautiful shape. You are hatefully vain. No, darling, not really, because I have a frightful foreboding that it will disappear before I know what to do with it. I am so horribly afraid I don't have time to enjoy being vain. You are a depressive maniac, and I would be bored stiff if you were not so pretty. Nobody could ever be bored with me. I have too much soul. Far too much, but lots of body too, thank heavens. The green and gold light in the woods. Look at the great ferns. They say witches make magic with fern seeds. They are hermaphrodites. The witches? No, the ferns. Somebody brought that colossal bluish fir tree from Canada. It cost millions and millions. How silly to bring a tree from America. Don't you hate America? No. Why should I hate America? I've never been there. They are frightfully civilized. Well, I hate America, because I know that once you get in, you can never get out, and you go on crying all your life for the anemones you will never see again. Perhaps America is covered from head to foot with wildflowers, mostly anemones, of course. I know it is not. How can you possibly know that? Not the part of America I am thinking about. They have other sorts of plants and dust. Dust, dust. Probably a few palm trees and cowboys galloping hither and thither on cows. They ride horses. Well, horses. Does it matter when you're so sick to get home again that you wouldn't notice if they were riding cockroaches? Well, you don't have to go to America, so cheer up. Don't I? Who knows? Something tells me that I am going to see a lot of America, and I'm going to be very sad there unless a miracle happens. Miracles, witches, fairy tales, grow up, darling. You may not believe in magic, but something very strange is happening at this very moment. Your head has dissolved into thin air. I can see the rhododendrons through your stomach. It's not that you are dead or anything dramatic like that. It is simply that you are fading away, and I can't remember your name. I remember your white flannels better than I can remember you. I remember all the things I felt about the white flannels, but whoever made them walk about has totally disappeared. So you remember me as a pink linen dress with no sleeves, and my face is confused with dozens of other faces? I have no name either, so why so much fuss about individuality? I thought I heard the Snow Queen laugh. She seldom laughs. There I was, nodding away in my terrible old carcass, and Galahad was trying to tell me something. He was shouting at the top of his voice. No, I am not inviting you to play tennis. I am trying to tell you something very agreeable and important. Agreeable? Important? You are going away on a nice holiday, Mother. You are going to enjoy it very much. My dear Galahad, don't tell me such silly lies. You are sending me away to a home for senile females because you all think I am a repulsive old bag. And I dare say you are right from your own point of view. He stood mouthing at me, looking as if I had picked a live goat out of my bonnet. We expect you to be reasonable about all this, he yelled eventually. You will be very comfortable and have a lot of company. My dear Galahad, I wonder what you consider being unreasonable. Do you mean that I might tear the house down brick by brick and stamp on it? Throw the television set off the roof? Ride off naked on Robert's revolting motorcycle? No, Galahad. I do not have the strength for any of those reactions. I have absolutely no choice except being what you call reasonable. You need not worry. You will find that you will be very happy, Mother. You will have all sorts of interesting pastimes and a trained staff to see that you are never lonely. I am never lonely, Galahad, or rather, I never suffer from loneliness. I suffer from the idea that my loneliness might be taken away from me by a lot of mercilessly well-meaning people. Of course, I never hope that you will understand me. So, all I ask is that you do not imagine that you are persuading me into something that you are actually forcing me against my will. Really, Mother, it will be for your own good. I know you will appreciate this later on. I doubt it very much. However, nothing I can say will change your opinion, so when do I have to go? Well, we thought we might drive you out on Tuesday, just to have a look at things. If you're not pleased with the place, you can come right home again. Today is Sunday. Yes, today is Sunday. I am glad to see you perking up, Mother. You'll see what a fine time you're going to have, making lots of friends and taking healthy exercise out in Santa Brigida. It is almost the country, you know. What do you mean, healthy exercise? I asked, prey to an awful premonition that they might have a hockey team. One never knows with modern therapy. I get plenty of exercise here. Organized sports of some sort, replied Galahad, confirming my fears. You're going to feel like a 2-year-old after a month or two. I didn't seem able to get my breath properly. I held my peace in order to reserve energy. I had too many things to find out before falling stark into a grave. Besides, argument with Galahad was obviously unfruitful. He went on talking for some time, but I no longer heard what he said, as he wasn't shouting anymore. Some 50 or 60 years ago, I bought a practical tin trunk in the Jewish Quarter in New York. This trunk has resisted time in all sorts of different services. Recently, I had used it as a tea table when Carmela came to visit me. I had only expected to pack it again when I would leave for Lapland. One can never be sure of the future. I had not opened the trunk for about 7 years. That must have been the time Carmela gave me a bottle of sleeping potion that she had made herself, and that I never dared to taste. The bottle was still lying at the bottom of the trunk and has turned into a crystalline sediment which looked extraordinarily venomous, having a brownish tint with a gray fungoid growth around the top. I decided to keep it just the same. One never can know what might be useful. I never throw anything away. The trunk inside was made of solid wood and papered with a tasteful design, which was slightly stained in places. The first object I packed, next to the sleeping potion, was, of course, the fatal hearing trumpet. This made me think of the angel Gabriel, although I believe he's supposed to blow his and not listen through it, that is, according to the Bible. On the last day when humanity rises to ultimate catastrophe. Strange how the Bible always seems to end up in misery and cataclysm. I often wondered how their angry and vicious God became so popular. Humanity is very strange, and I don't pretend to understand anything. However, why worship something that only sends you plagues and massacres? And why was he blamed for everything? Then I had to open the chest of drawers and sort things out. And all the cardboard boxes with different labels, marmalade, glass, tinned beans, tomato ketchup. They did not, of course, contain what the label said, but different odds and ends which agglomerate with time. One has to be very careful what one takes when one goes away forever. Something seemingly useless might become essential under specific circumstances. I decided to pack as if I were going to Lapland. There was a screwdriver, hammer, nails, birdseed, a lot of ropes that I had woven myself, some strips of leather, part of an alarm clock, needles and thread, a bag of sugar, matches, colored beads, seashells, and so on. Finally, I put in a few clothes to prevent things rattling about inside the trunk. Knowing Muriel to be an officious nosy Parker and wanting to prevent any possible revision of my belongings, I filled the empty cardboard boxes with stones from the backyard and tied them up again with string so that she would think I had left all my miscellaneous collection behind. Muriel would call it all rubbish and throw it away. Of course, I knew I was not going to bribe the Eskimos, but I put everything in as if I were. Institutions like the far north are also cut off from civilization, and you never know what people might want. I was not educated in a convent school for nothing. Time, as we all know, passes. Whether it returns in quite the same way is doubtful. A friend of mine, who I did not mention up till now because of his absence, told me that a pink and a blue universe cross each other in particles like two swarms of bees. And when a pair of different color bees hit each other, miracles happen. All this has something to do with time, although I doubt if I could explain it coherently. This particular friend, Mr. Marlborough, has been living in Venice with his sister, so I haven't seen him for some time. Mr. Marlborough is a great poet, and has achieved fame in recent years. At times I had thought of writing poetry myself, but getting words to rhyme with each other is difficult, like trying to drive a herd of turkeys and kangaroos down a crowded thoroughfare and keep them neatly together without looking in shop windows. There are so many words, and they all mean something. Marlborough tells me his sister had been a cripple from birth. Although he says it so mysteriously, I sometimes wonder what is really the matter with her. If I remember correctly, writers usually find some excuse for their books, although why one should excuse oneself for having such a quiet and peaceful occupation, I really don't know. Military people never seem to apologize for killing each other, yet novelists feel ashamed for writing some nice, inert paper book that is not certain to be read by anybody. Values are very strange. They change so quickly, I can't keep track of them. I say all this because I think I might write some poetry after all. I think a ballad would be rather in my style, with short, simple verses such as, "Not a thing upon the floor, although I looked from door to door, abandoned by my kith and kin, I'll leave them not a safety pin." Not anything pretentious with long words. This is merely an example, as I would actually favor something more romantic. With all these thoughts running through my head like sand through a sieve, I continued my packing. It was quite a long job, but I had no desire to sleep. I was too preoccupied. Sleeping and waking are not quite as distinctive as they used to be. I often mix them up. My memory is full of all sorts of stuff which is not perhaps in chronological order, but there's a lot of it. So I pride myself on having an excellent faculty of miscellaneous recall. The cats were singing hymns to the moon on the seashore, just a silver spoon. The rhyming image never was finished. I must have dropped off to sleep after all.